something really weird happened the other day in my group of friends from middle school. So they were telling me that some guy we went to middle school with called up each of them, there was 5 guys, issuing a formal apology for things they said to him in the past. And the strange thing too is that they were all friends up until this point. So they attended weddings together, bachelor parties. They were all a clique. But for some reason, he went very nuclear and decided to issue apologies. He went on and vented for about 2 hours to each person, very angry. And they were all thinking it's out of left field because we're all buddies, we all hang out. And then one of our friends actually told him, look, I'm sorry for bullying you when we were younger, but you have to understand that A, we were young and dumb, and right now, where we're working 9 to 5 in office jobs, the politics are even worse than they were in junior high. So the message is does bullying ever stop? You've been in a corporate job for over 20 years, you've seen a lot of different things. What's your take on this?
Bullying never stops.
Bullying never stops, okay.
You know, your friend through middle school, he never handled it well himself. That's the first thing. When you're the one being picked on, you know, we've all been picked on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be clear about that. We've either been picked on or done the picking.
Mm-hmm.
And anything in between. Our friend circle might have something like that. I myself had that go in my life too, my friend circle from middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up picking a fight with the guy in the end.
Oh, really?
Before we finished grade 12.
Yeah.
I just couldn't take it anymore now.
Right.
I've known this guy for 6 years and everything was always a diss.
Mm-hmm.
You dress well, that's a diss. You dress poorly, that's a diss. And everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
His problem was his dad was bullying him.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day my brain snapped.
Yeah.
And then you realize, I remember telling my friends at that time, if he says one more word, I'm going to go gangbusters. And I did.
Right.
And after X amount, and I was always someone, I was a bigger guy, like muscular wise.
Mm-hmm.
And at that stage in my life, I was looking good, I'm tall, I'm going into who I'm becoming today.
Mm-hmm.
And he was relentless with always wanting to pick on the weaker guy in the group.
Mm-hmm.
He fast forward some X amount of time, and I ended up just saying, let's just go.
Yeah.
You want to say something, let's just drop now.
Right, right.
You will always deal with bullying if you don't say to that person, let's go. And he had such a problem with me. Now, I went through here post-secondary, got myself a job. You go into the corporate world and you think, well, these are adults now.
Mm-hmm.
These people have a better internal manifestation of how to talk and deal with people.
Mm-hmm.
They're just older people with the gray hair that's growing who never reconciled that bully from 15,
Mm-hmm.
from 12. Now we're in our mid-20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and these people haven't achieved what they wanted out of life.
Mm-hmm.
And they still look at that person that walks in that room and says, you remind me of XYZ, I'm going to come and pick on you.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta be, even in a corporate setting, if you don't handle your business correctly internally, that guy who was making those comments to you or to me, I've always wondered what happened to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's been well north of like, close to 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna see him again in my life. And I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
But how did his life turn out? Did he have kids? Is he married? Is he divorced? What's his debt load look like? Those are different topics we're gonna have.
Right, right.
But did he become a bully? My money says yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, excuse me, now the guy who you dealt with, he's demanding apologies.
Right.
He never reconciled what happened to him internally.
Mm-hmm.
A sorry is not going to make the situation better.
Right.
Saying sorry to you, for a lot of people, is like a bodily function at some point.
Yeah. Right.
And then people don't understand that part.
Right, right.
People will say whatever they need to get to the next point.
Mm-hmm.
If I say, oh yeah, man, I'm sorry, how genuine did the language I just said to you sound?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to turn around and then say to the audience, well, I said sorry to him.
Mm-hmm.
Bullying never stops until I say to myself, I got to look better. I got to be becoming someone who I see in the mirror as.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with most people is they gain weight.
Yeah.
They manifest that energy up here. Then your body begins to show the stress signs.
Signs of bullying.
It's true.
Yeah.
Mental health has only become a topic in the West over the last 25, 30 years.
Right.
When I was younger, it was just called proper coping skills.
Mm-hmm.
It was also called Eastern philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And we laugh at those topics today,
Mm-hmm.
or even when I was younger, but now you realize that's where mental health came from.
Right.
We just rebranded Eastern philosophy into mental health help.
Mm-hmm.
The bullying will never stop until you start believing in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a tall glass of Kool-Aid right here in the morning.
Right.
I give it to you. That's dumb.
Yeah.
But I gotta believe in my own Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what most people don't do. When they say there's a glass half empty or half full, even during my tough times in my life, it was always full.
That's fantastic.
It was always full and it was always overflowing.
Yeah.
Because I believe in me.
Right.
And people will say, well, that's an easy thing to say. You can hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
You can psych yourself up in the mirror.
Yeah.
But you gotta be believing in yourself. Those are my thoughts.
Right. Right. I agree with you 100%.